Welcome to Test What Teachers Tea Room. Here, you will learn useful tips on how to teach with Test What textbook to achieve the learning objectives in the curriculum. Join us for today's session on Junior Secondary Mathematics.
But it gives us every reason to believe that every problem has a solution. One of my lecturers taught me, he said something, he said mathematics will help you to think logically. And if you are a mathematician, you will be dogged. Both in life situation, you are facing problem, you won't give up so soon. And that word problem is an aspect of mathematics that will also build you, that will help you not to relent. Interpretation in word problem is a problem in itself. So it means we have word problem in chapter 2. I saw it and I was teaching LCM and HCF word problem. The least, the greatest. I saw it and I said, wow, this is lovely. We are still discussing number and numeration. Number and numeration. You can see number and numeration was splitted. Addition of decimal, the types of decimal numbers, the integers, the fractional numbers, the square, the prime, and every numbers one after the other. From there they move to the next topic that I have here. They've done basic operation on numbers, and they move to algebra. The basic foundation of mathematics is laid on number, and next to it is algebra. And that is why you see sometimes they will say find x, and students will ask you, am I the one that kept your x? And x in such cases are coded numbers, hidden, and they want you to find it. Finding x, if you can, okay, you have a life situation, take that as x. Just say, okay, this is x. How do I find x? You look at the ways of solving the problem. And this, we have algebra. And algebra, we have addition, simple equation, inequality. When I was going through this, I saw some things and that is why I said, this one is your class 1. For Y class. This is class 1. Y class 1. Yeah. If you have this knowledge, sincerely, when you get to that class, when you are to write Y, you will not be stranded. You will not be stranded. I doubt if I have this one when I was growing up. And we have use of number line. Number line, you can use your ruler to do some practical example. You have 3 and you have 7 and you have to add. You put your pen on your 3 and you move 7 times away from there to the front. And you add it where your line, your pen landed on will be your answer. And when you are at 7 and they ask you to remove 5 from it, from 7 reduce it, move back. Because number increases towards right and decreases to the left. We can see it explained. We have open sentence where you have box and they want you. Now we have base algebra expression. We have expression where there is no equality sign. Here we have, let's say 3 plus this, and it's clear here. We can see 4x plus 3 plus x equals to 18 equation. And they want you to solve the problem. I can see practical questions here. And when I was looking at it, I saw workbook. I said, wow. Recently, the UBE and Nigeria curriculum planner, they said, student, you need to help student using quantitative analysis. And from their workbook, I can see several quantitative analysis where students will look at it and say, okay, what has happened to this? I don't know. Okay, is it multiplication, is it addition, or the square root Like the first page I saw sample, because sample will be given and you are now meant to look at it. Okay, what has happened? I have 4 trillion, at the middle I have 6 trillion, and the other side I have 10 trillion. Okay, what has happened? Will I add 4 to 10? No, it won't give me this. Will I this? You need to engage. This one is a certain aspect of mathematics that will help the student to engage their thinking faculty. You have taught the concept of addition. Now they are left with what? Looking at the sample, and then they look at the question that is, his space is empty, and they have to fill. And there, when I was even talking about that, I saw practical book. Wow, this is just too much. Not too much. I'm just saying that it's just an emphasis. When you see something in the Bible, somebody said, if you hear verily, verily, that means what? It's an emphasis. Yeah. Workbook is an emphasis, that is, from the knowledge that you've acquired from here, you need to practice it here. And you also need to practice this one at your leisure time at home. Because I discovered that problem, even when you teach the concept, the problem we have, the normal problem is students will go home without doing anything. But with this, they will have something to do. Definitely. From there, we move to geometry. Geometry is just an aspect of mathematics that talks about shape. Shapes. And we were told that everything on earth is formed from shape. Talk about anything here. It can only be composite. It can be composite. You might not see it as triangle. You might not see it as rectangle. You might not see it as trapezium, parallelogram, and some other things. But combinations of those shapes will form anything. Let's look at a building structure. An aspect, maybe a surface here, will be combination of a rectangle and triangle. Because we have both plane shapes, solid shapes. And the third one is the combination of any of the two. Or the plane and plane, and also solid and solid. Plane and plane is called composite. Solid and solid is also called composite. I can see from here that shape. The first thing is to look at the features of those shapes. And this thing stipulated, because sometimes you look at this. We're doing something on vector. In a vector, they drew a parallelogram. They put Q here. And a student was telling me, up there, sir, I need it. What is the value? I now returned them back to JSS when I said, don't you know the feature of your parallelogram? Two opposite sides are equal now. These are things that you'll have learned from textbook year 7 or JSS 1 textbook. Knowing the features of shapes. And also we have features of solid shapes. We have solid shapes in this. I was wondering. Circle, cylinders, cone, cuboid, cube, and on and on and on. And also I saw irregular shapes. I told you that everything is formed out of shapes. Also, we actually need to look at the angle, which I can see trigonometry here. That is not just the shape, but the angle related to the sides of plane shapes. Here we were told that it is an acute that is angle less than 90, obtuse angle more than 90 but not up to 180, angle on a straight line that is exactly 180. We have also a special angle called a perpendicular that is 90 degree. We have from here, we have reflex angle that is angle more than 180 from here, and I can see angle at a point. These are things stipulated. When I'm teaching plane geometry, these are things that you need to know in order to solve the problem. These are foundation, good foundation laid. In JSS 1 class, this is a very good book that will prescribe for everyone. Sincerely, textbook mathematics has actually laid a very good foundation that your student will build on. In that class where they need to write it WAEC, they will not be stranded. It will come to their memory, okay, JSS 1 textbook, we've been taught this and this. And lastly, I can see statistics, everyday statistics. That is collecting of data, arranging data, representing the data. I can see pictures, a pictogram, a picture representation from Muyo. We have some diagram of human beings sketched there. These students will be they'll be attracted to that. They want to know what you want to tell them. And I can see representation using bar, which is bar chart. I can see the mean median mode, that is just the foundation. And one thing lastly, please, sequence. This is a very good topic in SS classes, and it's a very good topic in checkpoint mathematics. We have linear sequence, we have exponential sequence. In that level, they will teach them linear sequence, exponential sequence, and sometimes you see Fibonacci sequence. And you can see from the, I remember that I was to just do a kind of review for one of my students that is writing checkpoint this morning. Mathematics checkpoint they was written today. And I was telling him, I said, a sequence is just an arrangement that follows a specific order. It follows a specific rules. Like linear sequence obey the rules of addition and subtraction. And we have geometric sequence that follows the rules of what? Multiplication and division. Just little, I just put him through and I said, this. This is something that is not common in any textbook. I doubt if you see it. I doubt if you will see this. And today I remember teaching my student the IDCS today. I started from linear, this same linear, to geometry, from geometry to quadratic sequence to cubic. But this is a foundation, a proper foundation laid. I want to at this point say kudos to the producer of the publisher of TestWord Super Mathematics. Sincerely, they've done a lot of good work here. And I want to advise everyone, TestWord Super Mathematics textbook is very good for your school. And mind you, no matter how it was stated here, how good the textbook is, please, we need to know how to implement our textbook. I want to advise teachers, we can do research. I remember I was under a colleague and I was telling him, I said, come, you are my teacher. I said, give me assignment, and he said, no. I searched questions from the net and I did it. I submitted. He was laughing. I said, you don't know anything. I want to learn something. My normal university will not take me through that. The word transformation. I saw something here, translation under the point here. Yes. They said a point is shifted this way. You have slided that point. Is a translation. A translation, a topic in checkpoint mathematics. From this, I have to check the NERDC, and I discovered that they gave their topic as 5. And also UBE, and I have their topic as 4. And all these topics, 5, was broken in a way that you will understand it. You need to understand a step, you move to a step, and you move to a step. I want to say kudos to TestWord publisher for producing this. It's going to be good for JSS 1 classes. Thank you very much. And at this point, I rest my